There is nothing wrong with wanting a brand new compact SUV. They are the default family vehicle of the moment. Tall, comfortable, easy to park, and just rugged enough to make the school run feel like a mild adventure. But here is the uncomfortable truth that almost nobody on the showroom floor will say out loud. Some of the most desirable small SUVs on the lot are also some of the fastest ways ever invented to set fire to your own money. The second you drive certain models off the forecourt, their value starts sliding down the chart like a ticker on the worst trading day of the year. To work out which ones bleed the hardest, the used car research firm IC Cars crunched the transaction data on hundreds of thousands of 5-year-old vehicles and measured how much of the original sticker price actually survived the journey. The pattern that came back was brutal and weirdly consistent. Premium badges and big battery packs get punished the hardest once they hit the secondhand market. So settle in, because these are 9 compact SUVs that depreciate like a stock market crash, and by the time we reach the last one, you will understand exactly why each of them is a nightmare for the first owner and a quiet gift for whoever buys it next. On paper, this thing should have been a hero. It is a gorgeous, all-electric luxury crossover that beat a lot of German rivals to the electric punch and still drives the way a Jaguar is supposed to drive. Unfortunately, being early to the electric party turned out to be a very expensive place to stand. According to IC Cars, the I-Pace sheds roughly 72% of its value over 5 years, which works out to nearly $52,000, simply evaporating into the air. Read that number one more time. A car that once stickered deep into the 80s is now the kind of used deal that makes bargain hunters go weak at the knees, while the original owner is left staring at one of the steepest resale collapses of any vehicle currently on the road. Devastating if you paid full price. Fantastic if you are shopping used and have always fancied a luxury EV for the money of a modest commuter car. From one electric heartbreak straight into a far more familiar one, because the next name on the list is a car you have almost certainly seen parked on your street. Best-selling vehicles on the planet, and for good reason. It is quick, it is spacious, and the charging network behind it is genuinely convenient. Yet popularity has done almost nothing to protect it once the odometer starts climbing. IC Cars data pegs the Model Y at around a 60% loss of value across 5 years, a figure that puts it comfortably worse than the industry average and firmly in stock market crash territory. Part of the problem is Tesla's own habit of cutting new prices and refreshing the lineup, which quietly drags every used example down with it. The owner who paid sticker eats that loss. The used buyer, meanwhile, gets a modern electric crossover for a fraction of what it costs new, which is exactly the kind of trade that keeps second-hand EV shoppers smiling. If the Model Y is the mainstream cautionary tale, the next one is the luxury version of the exact same story. By almost every measure, an excellent compact SUV. It looks sharp, the cabin is a lovely place to sit, and it sells in serious numbers because buyers genuinely love it. That very popularity, though, is part of what wrecks its resale value, because the used market is flooded with them. IC Cars puts the Q5's 5-year depreciation at roughly 58%, meaning a huge chunk of that premium German price tag is gone before the warranty is even a distant memory. The lesson repeats itself here with almost mechanical predictability. Everything that made the Q5 desirable when it was new does very little to hold its value when it is used, and the first owner is the one who quietly funds the discount for everyone who comes after. Staying in the luxury compact aisle, mostly because far fewer people were paying attention to it in the first place. It is a perfectly competent SUV with a genuinely clever variable compression engine and a comfortable, well-appointed interior. The trouble is that Infiniti simply does not carry the badge cachet of its German rivals, and the used market is merciless about that kind of thing. IC Cars data has the QX50 losing about 54% of its value over 5 years, dropping a 5-year-old example down to roughly $20,000. For the person who bought it new, that is a painful, silent hemorrhage of cash. For a savvy used shopper, it is one of the most underappreciated luxury bargains on the entire market, because you are getting a genuinely nice cabin for the price of a basic economy crossover. Now for a name that stings a little more, because this is a genuine benchmark of the class. and it drives beautifully enough to deserve that reputation. And yet even a car this respected is not immune to the curse. iSeeCar's figures show the X3 giving up close to 54% of its value across 5 years. Think about what that means in practice. A machine that regularly stickers well into the 50s and 60s, loaded with the options everybody wants, hands back more than half of that money by year 5. It is a superb car, and at the same time, a genuinely rough financial decision if you buy it new and sell it a few years later. Buy it used, of course, and that same depreciation curve suddenly becomes your best friend, rather than your worst enemy. The pattern holds for BMW's oldest rival, too. The GLC is polished, refined, and about as safe and sensible a luxury compact SUV as you can put in your driveway. Buyers love it, reviewers respect it, and the 3-pointed star still means something. None of that stops it from surrendering roughly 54% of its value over 5 years, according to iSeeCars. It is the same brutal arithmetic we keep running into. The higher the sticker climbs, the further there is to fall. And premium German SUVs have a very long way down indeed. The original owner absorbs that entire drop, so that a later buyer can pull into the same driveway for something close to half the original price. If those numbers made you wince, the next entry proves that British luxury plays by the exact same rules. With proper off-road credibility, a handsome design, and a badge that carries real prestige at the country club. Prestige, however, is a terrible hedge against depreciation. iSeeCar's data shows the Discovery Sport clinging to only around 46% of its value after 5 years, which means well over half of it is simply gone. Land Rover's long-running reputation for fussy reliability does the resale value no favors whatsoever, since used buyers price in the repair risk before they even test drive it. For the first owner, that is a double punishment of steep depreciation and looming running costs. For a used buyer willing to gamble a little, it is a lot of luxury SUV for surprisingly little cash. And where there is a Land Rover on a depreciation list, its corporate cousin is rarely far behind. This is the smaller, more affordable Jaguar crossover, the one meant to lure buyers into the brand at a friendlier price. The problem is that a friendlier entry price does very little to soften the exit. iSeeCar's figures put the E-Pace at roughly half of its value lost over 5 years, and in some readings the drop is even steeper than that. It shares the same core weaknesses as the rest of the British luxury contingent. A premium ambition that the used market simply refuses to reward, and a reliability reputation that keeps resale values pinned to the floor. Wonderful if you are the second owner hunting a stylish badge on a budget. Genuinely painful if you were the first. Which brings us finally to the one that might surprise you most, because Volvo has spent years building a reputation for sensible, safety-first, keep-it-forever engineering. Arguably one of the best designed cabins in the entire compact class, and it feels every bit as solid as its reputation promises. Even so, iSeeCar's data has it losing nearly 45% of its value over 5 years, dropping a 5-year-old example down to around $22,000. That is a gentler slide than the German and British luxury crowd, but it still comfortably outpaces what a mainstream Toyota or Honda in the same class would ever surrender. It is the quiet reminder that hides underneath this entire list. Even the sensible, likable, well-built luxury options are still luxury options, and the used market taxes that premium every single time. So there they are, 9 compact SUVs that depreciate like a stock market crash, from the Jaguar I-Pace in genuine free fall to the Volvo XC40 sliding gently but stubbornly downhill. Notice the thread running through every single one of them. It is almost always the premium badge, the big battery, or the high original sticker that digs the deepest hole, while the mainstream reliability-first models quietly hold on to far more of their money. If you are buying new and planning to trade in after a few years, that pattern is a genuine warning worth heeding before you sign anything. But if you are shopping the used market, flip the whole thing on its head, because every brutal number on this list is somebody else's loss becoming your incredible deal. If this breakdown saved you from an expensive mistake, or just handed you a short list of ridiculously good used bargains to go hunting for, do me a quick favor and hit that like button so more buyers get warned before they sign. Subscribe and turn on notifications if you want the next one, where we dig into the vehicles that do the exact opposite and barely lose a dime. And drop a comment below with the SUV you were about to buy, because there is a very good chance the numbers have a surprise waiting for you. I'll see you in the next one.